Yo. What's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham. We got RKT Real Estate in the building. We got Rashidi and we got Kaleem. Let's go, man. What's going on, guys? How y'all feeling today?
What's going on, brother? Feeling good.
Doing great, man.
All right. I see my nigga Rashidi with the little sensitive, the sensitive shoulder sweater collar. Yeah. That's that shit the R&B niggas be wearing in those R&B videos, or they be singing about the girl. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, man. What's up with y'all though, man? What y'all got on the topic today, man? What y'all got?
We got the psychology of spending.
Okay, all right, okay. So, Rashidi, what went into the psychology of buying such a sensitive collared sweater?
Looking good. That's what it's about.
I'll fuck with you. But no, let's get into it though. The psychology behind spending habits, man. What's going on with you? What are we talking about when we talk about the psychology of spending?
I mean, I guess we just examining the reason why, people have the spending habits that they have.
Yeah.
And it's for various different reasons. For some people, maybe personal income, peer pressure, for whatever the reason is, people are still spending, and but it's more important about why we feel that we have to just spend for no apparent reason at all. I think that especially how the market is, and just marketing and in general, advertising, you can literally walk outside and don't plan on doing anything, but because you're outside, you could just be going for a walk and then end up in the store buying something.
Facts.
Why? Because like the stores are all around you. Like so it's even if you don't plan on spending, you're gonna do it just for the idea of something subconsciously is telling you to spend that dollar, and you're not even realizing it.
Right.
So I think that like I said, whether and it has negative effects on spending has negative effects. It causes relationship issues, it causes mental health issues. It's so many things that can happen because people, spend, like I said, subconsciously, and it's real, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rashidi, what you got on it?
Yeah, man. I mean, the psychology of spending, it's a combination of a lot of things. One is a combination of your family, how you were raised. That's a huge part of it. A lot of times, all of us come from different backgrounds. So we got a lot of people where they come from backgrounds where they don't know how to save. Their parents didn't know how to save, so they teach you not. You don't know how to save because they didn't know how to save. You follow their actions. So that's definitely a factor. The other factor is just America. America is a capitalistic society. Like, they make money off of people making bad decisions. That's the reality of the situation. Then on top of that, you got to face, inflation, and you got to face impulsive behavior, meaning that the psychology of spending money is that if back in the day you grew up and you didn't have the finer things, or your parents were struggling, and now you make a decent living or slightly above poverty level, now you want to buy things more because you couldn't afford those things back in the day, which causes you to overspend. So it's a lot of impulse buying out here where people are just, since I could do it, I could buy it. I just heard somebody, on another podcast talking just the other day about their kid, that when they were a kid, their mother didn't give them everything because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
And her current daughter, now she gives her everything because she's a good kid. She gets A's in schools. She buys her everything that she wants. She never says no to her. But now she's turned her into a person where whatever she wants, she gets. And now she's turning into an adult that does that. Like, she could get everything she wants because she got everything she wanted as a kid. So our upbringing and how we raise is a huge factor with that. I mean, the solutions is just, trying to get more discipline, and of course contacting us, www.rktrealestate.com, and really making budget plans, saving plans, and just planning. Because to Kenny's point, when you go outside, you might see the ice cream truck. When you buy ice cream truck for $2, damn, I'm thirsty. I wasn't prepared. I didn't buy my water. Now I'm buying a $2 more water because I'm in Manhattan. Yeah, damn, I'm kind of hungry. I didn't eat since 8 this morning. I ain't planning to stay out till 2 o'clock. Now I need to buy some lunch. Now you
and there's food at home. You got food at home, but you planning on spending food from outside just because you're gonna be out the extra 2-3 hours, and it happens. They speaking about impulse, they got this thing called retail therapy.
Right.
It's like when you're shopping, with the primary purpose of improving like your buyer's mood or like their disposition.
Yeah.
So like, and some people call it different names like a shopping spree or they're splurging, you know, and like I said, subconsciously, they don't even realize what's happening. You know, it's like they get this dopamine when they spend.
Yeah.
And that feeling that they get, that spiritual emotional connection that they're tied to when they get something, they want that feeling over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's super important to kind of detach from that feeling, because people, regardless, you're going to spend no matter what, but people spend like carelessly, you know, and I think that's really the issue, because no matter what, money is meant to be circulated. It's a flow of currency, so you can't harness it and hold on to it, but for so long.
Right.
You have to do something with it. Even if you're saving it you're going to be saving it to do something with it, or investing in it, or something in that nature. So I just think that like I said, the detachment of, you know, getting that feeling of gratitude, because you know you have to spend, so you're going to just do it like frivolously, you know.
Right. You know, I want to also talk about the psychology of online shopping. Right? Because me personally, you know, like I live in an apartment building, and they send you like a notification when you get a package in the mail, or when you get a package in the package room. And it feels like Christmas, you know, like even though you already know what you ordered, sometimes you order multiple things and you don't know what's going to come first and shit. And so you go down, you get your package, and it's like opening gifts on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I mean, for the most part, I try to only buy shit that I need. You understand? But sometimes, like, you'll see those videos on Amazon, on like Instagram, where it says Amazon products that you didn't know you needed. And it's like a thing. It's like maybe like a little carrying case for your phone, or a little caddy to put your remote so you don't lose it, or some little stupid fucking thing where it's like, oh, well, if you got a lot of wires all around your desk, you might need this little thing to like put all the wires in, and you end up buying shit. You know what I'm saying? You end up buying things. And so, you know, again, you sometimes a want turns into a need, or they invent something that it seems like a need, but it's actually a want.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you know, you could put your TV remote back in the place that you're supposed to put it in. You know, you don't need no extra special place to put your TV remote that costs $9.99 on Amazon, but you might buy the shit anyway, because it's like, oh man, I need that because I'm always looking for my remote. But the real reason why you always looking for your remote is because you don't put it back where you know you're supposed to put it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you just had a little bit of discipline, you wouldn't have to spend that money. You understand? And then not to mention the feel of getting a package. You know, that feeling of like, because now it's not even about going out on the shopping spree. Now it's about getting on your phone and ordering some shit just so you can get that little notification that you got a package in the package room. You feel me? You go there and then you open up your package. You be like, oh wow, I remember that. I damn near forgot I even ordered this. You see what I'm saying? So
it's like that feeling of getting a reward or recognition.
Yeah, something like that.
Some type of material or something that. No, I get it. That makes sense.
So yeah, it's not just about the shopping spree. Now it's the Jeff Bezos effect. It's the Amazon effect, or shit. Even something like Temu. I don't know if y'all know about Temu. Temu is that new Amazon shit. It's like a Amazon. It's like if Amazon had a dollar store. That's what Temu is. So it's you spend small amounts of money. So you'll spend less than $5, less than $10, and you get a couple things off Temu. But between packaging and the constant ordering, it adds up. You see what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, Temu is like a Alibaba or the dollar store version of Amazon. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So, and truthfully, some things that if you want to speak about like being a little bit more strategic, there are some things that you could buy on Amazon that you could buy off Temu. It's the same exact product, but it's just a little bit cheaper, because Temu is like in China. Temu is like you buying shit from China directly. Like pretty much everything on Temu is made in China. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those even jewelry, like, you know, those little jewelry companies you see on Amazon where they sell you the fake diamond necklaces.
Mm-hmm.
Those companies buy their shit from places like Temu.
Right.
So you could just go straight to Temu and buy the fucking, I got a little iced out necklace. On camera, it looks good. It looks like what it's supposed to look like. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But I use that shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going out and buying no fucking $5,000 chain just to impress internet niggas. Like, wow.
Exactly. Walk around and the nigga take your shit.
but shit for $24.99, that shit look like it's supposed to look.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So but see, that's another thing too. A lot of times we'll spend money just because we think we saving money. You ever had your girlfriend or your sister or your mom? She come home with a bag full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And shit she don't even need, and she's like, "Oh, I bought this, and I bought this, and I bought this, and I got this, and it was all on sale."
Mm-hmm.
I saved like $600. But wait a second, did you have to buy any of that shit?
Right.
You really could have saved the whole $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You spent $400. You saved $600. But if you ain't buying nothing at all, we could have kept the whole $1,000 in the house.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes, and that's why I bring up Temu, because it's people out there that be like, oh, well, it's not like I'm buying off of Amazon. I'm buying off of Temu.
Right.
But it adds up, though. You get what I'm saying? It adds up. So that's another part of the psychology of spending. It's like, shit be adding up and you don't even realize you think you're saving money.
Right. Real talk.
Locario, what's going on, man?
What's popping, man? What's going on with everybody? Shout out to everybody in the chat and all that other good shit, man. Yeah, so what did I miss? You were just talking about like niggas buying bullshit or now I would say so my thing with spending is, and I don't know if y'all talked about this, is that people don't realize people spend emotionally a lot too. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's how sales people get you too, is that, they appeal to your emotion more so than anything else, because if they can get you to buy based off of emotion, it's easier for you to make that purchase, because then it feels more substantial as to why you're doing what you're doing. And the thing is this, sometimes what happens is, and this is the important part too, is that sometimes it's good to spend the money because sometimes you actually do need the thing that you're spending money on. And so what happens is the salesperson, they got to get you to, they got to disarm you so that they can get your money and you can actually get what you want. The problem though is that when a person is trying to sell you some bullshit, so like, let's say they try to sell you something that's faulty or doesn't work or is on some bullshit, then that's when it's messed up. But sometimes what happens is that the product or service or whatever that's being sold actually is something that could help you. But because you're so tied, you're so scared to spend money, they have to do the psychological sort of like trick, you can say, to get you emotionally. And this is what a lot of actual like they teach you with like online marketing. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're trying to buy stuff online, and even back in the days, they used to do a lot of these things on websites where they would, like, let's say if you're trying to learn how to make money and, it's going to cost you to buy a course or take some coaching or whatever, then what happens is that the person selling it to you has to get you emotionally so that you can invest in order to get the product that's actually going to help you. You see what I'm saying? Because in your mind, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that. It costs too much. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. So in order for you to take the step, they got to get you on some emotional shit. You know what I'm saying? So that also too. And sometimes what happens too is sometimes you will buy because you like the person. So like somebody might be like, I like Kaylee and Rashidi. They seem like cool guys. So then they'll work with you off the strength that they like you. You see what I'm saying? Versus anything you're even selling, but they'll buy the stuff you're selling because they like that you're selling it. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing too. People got to understand is that sometimes people will buy off you just literally because they like you. They might like, this is like, some people might buy because they think you're attractive. Some people might buy just off the fact they like your personality. Some people might even buy because you remind them of somebody else they like. They're like, oh, it reminds me of my cousin, and my cousin's real cool, and so because I like my cousin, I like you now, and because I like you now, I'm gonna buy the shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then also they might buy because it might just be the right time, whether the product has a discount or a sale on it, or they may have just, got paid and, just literally it could have been just the right time. So sometimes the timing is important too when, people are spending. They will literally do it just because it's the right time.
Right. That's
like
fact.
This Friday, people are going to spend. It's no matter how you put it. They will.
Right.
And I mean that the main thing, one of the solutions, should I say, to that is ultimately you want to actually have plans for every single dollar that you have. That means at the end of the day, if you have a plan for every single penny, every single dollar, it goes towards something. And that's the problem. When you have money, you don't know what to do with it, or you don't have a plan for it, it gets spent. Think about it. If you get paid $2,000 and you pay your rent, at the end of the day, you got $600 left over. At that time, you're going to waste $600 because now you didn't have a plan for it. But if you had a bunch of plans for it, that would never happen.
Right.
And that's the part that people don't really realize at the end of the day. Like having a plan for every single dollar, you're good to go.
That's real shit. That's real shit. And I think that has to do too with people not learning how to budget. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't budget, then you kind of spend on shit that you don't have in your budget, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I don't got enough to pay for this or pay for that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes too, it's a thing where people spend too because like if sometimes it feels good to spend, especially on things that you desire, that you think is going to make you feel good. So you're like, oh, well, let me go buy this, these new sneakers or some shit. You feel what I'm saying? Even though it's not in the budget, it's like, you'd be like, fuck it. Let me just go and make that happen because of whatever situation or whatever reason. And then they'll spend on that type of thing. But then at the end of the day, it's like, damn, that wasn't in the budget. But then you see it, later on down the line, like, damn, I don't have enough to do what I really needed to do because I bought the sneakers. You see what I'm saying? So that could also be an issue too. But at the same time, I feel like what can happen is if people have their budget, that's a good way to know that, hey, this is my budget. This is what I can afford. And if I want extra, I might need to make more or find a way to get more money because I know this is where my budget is. So, but they're not going to know that unless they actually make a budget. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing that I think is important too, to have that in place first, because it keeps everything sort of, it keeps it scheduled and it keeps it like, consistent, and it keeps it organized. You know what I'm saying? Because I think one of the things is people worry about money, not because they don't have enough, is because they don't budget. You see what I'm saying? Because if you budget, you'd be like, well, all the money that's supposed to go to whatever is already accounted for. You know? Now, if I want extra, then that's something else. Like that's a whole nother topic. But the thing is that it comes to a time where it's like, shit, well, I don't have enough because I didn't budget and I spent more on this than I needed to do. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Right. And I think even like speaking of the budgeting, I mean, it's simple, man. I mean, 50% of your money should go to your necessities, right? And like Miles was saying earlier, you got to know the difference between what your wants are and your necessities.
Right.
I would say usually 30% can go to like miscellaneous stuff, the stuff that you actually want. But because of like inflation, I would switch it around to where 30% should go towards your savings, and then 20% should go towards the miscellaneous things that you want, that you feel that, like you said, that those pair of sneakers or whatever it is that you want. And if you stick to those numbers, you should have no real issues. And obviously, the savings can increase as well, but you can still get things for yourself. But the problem is people would feel good, or like you said, they want to feel good at the moment. So they'll dip into that 50%. That's their necessities.
Right.
When they're not supposed to touch that. You get what I'm saying? And that be the problem. So in general, it's just more about discipline, and that's something that develops throughout the course of time.
Right. Now that's real shit. So do any of you guys use apps to manage your money? And if so, what apps? I don't use any apps. But.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, that's a good idea, but I don't, honestly.
Apps?
Yeah.
Like a download an app. Yeah. I mean, I don't use any apps. They're out there. The only problem that I have with apps is, it gets too automated after a while. But no, they're out there. Some people use them and they're good to use. And if it really helps out, then use it. Go for it. But I don't use them.
Yeah.
It says, when can I make an appointment for a consultation? So they want to know when can you do a consultation with you guys?
Yeah. Just go to the website and book one.
Right after the show. And whenever,
so just go to rktrealestate.com and then
book the appointment.
Right. So it should have any that stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's interesting about spending though, because and it's funny because if you're a seller of product or services or whatever, right? It's like you need to understand your customers, right? And as a person buying products or services or whatever, right? You need to you definitely need to understand why you're buying what you're buying, because this is the thing. Like if you understand why you're buying what you're buying, right? Then what happens is that you don't necessarily see. This is the thing. If you don't understand why you're buying what you're buying, that's when the seller has to appeal to your emotion. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you understand why you're buying what you're buying, the seller doesn't have to appeal to that, because you want this thing and you know why you need it, right? So, but the thing is, if you don't understand why you're buying and the seller appeals to your emotion, then you might end up buying shit you don't need. You see what I'm saying? And then it's kind of like you're wasting money. You see what I mean? But the seller, what happens is, and this is the thing, a good seller will actually, and this is what most people don't understand, a good seller will actually deter you from buying something you don't need. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that what happens is that, let's say if you're selling a product or something and you can tell this customer doesn't need it, it's actually better not to sell it to them. Because what happens is that increases your authenticity as a seller. You see what I'm saying? Versus a person who's just like trying to get money, because then what happens is you sell product or service to someone who doesn't need it or don't really want it, or it's not a good fit for them or whatever the hell it is. And then that person, they go online and write you a terrible review. Oh, this shit sucks. It didn't, you see what I'm saying? So now you have a bunch of shit that's fucking up the value of your product or service. You see what I'm saying? So it's I understand that shit. You see what I mean? Because sometimes what happens is, even with us, where we coach or whatever, and there's times where if you go to the Bad Boy membership, on the sales page, there's a part that says this product is not for you or don't get this if this. You know what I'm saying? So that listen, this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? But and the other part is talking about if it is for the customer. You know what I'm saying? And that's good business, because what happens is that you don't want to create situations where you having bad customer service, bad customer reviews. And of course, you can't 100% control that, because somebody could still get your shit and say, whatever. But the more that you try as a seller to just sell to anyone, just by any means necessary to get the money, then that type of shit is going to come back to bite you in the ass. You see what I'm saying?
Because even when we selling insurance, right? The client would be like, "Oh, yeah, just give me the IUL." I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
How do you know that you need an IUL?
Exactly.
You need a policy, yes. But let's go through this financial analysis first. And based off of that, we'll let you know what's the best product for you.
Exactly.
Because they automatically just assume, which IUL is great, yes, but it's not suitable for everybody.
Right.
And we can just sell them one, but we won't do that. We'll go through the process and see what's the best for them.
Right, that's a fact. So that's the thing, I think, with also like spending, just when it comes to dealing with money and all these other things, or and the customers who are spending stuff, because also too, what happens is that if you know what you want, right, you don't necessarily need to be appealed to by your emotions, and then you won't make a lot of emotional purchases, which means you're not going to spend a lot of money on bullshit that you don't need or that you don't really want, just because you're being, emotional at the time. Because also too, part of it too is that people can be emotional because they're broke. And so because you're broke, you will actually end up trying to spend, like you'll get the credit card, try to put it on the card, because now you want to feel like you're not broke. You see what I'm saying? So
somebody said it. Somebody said, poor people stay poor trying to look rich.
Right.
And rich people stay rich by trying to act poor.
Right, exactly. That's a fact. That's real shit though. But again, that it's because it's emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's emotional. I think that, and that's the thing I think about spending habits and all of that, is that like people don't realize that there's an emotional component to it too. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people, because you got to understand, some people there's a difference between being poor and being broke. Broke is, I spent all the money on my bills and everything, and I just don't really have a lot of money till the end of the next pay period. Poor is, I don't have money. You know what I'm saying? And so when a person's broke, they might feel poor. You understand what I'm saying? And then so when they see other people living it up and they're comparing themselves to other people, they start to feel a certain way about themselves based on other people. But sometimes those other people, like you said, they're pretending to be rich and buying a bunch of shit, and you think that everybody's living it up except for me. And then that's what makes you get emotional and makes you spend more money or try to charge it to the card and all that other shit. It's crazy.
And the irony in that is that money is numbers, and numbers are logics.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be emotional about spending, it's kind of weird if you think about it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And because you can't go off of, and when I say you can't, but people do every day. We go off of our emotions when we spend.
Right.
But you're not really supposed to, because it's not about emotions with money.
Right. Exactly.
Money doesn't understand emotion. It understands logic.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that's the irony in it.
Right.
Even a lot of relationships. A lot of my relationships, I ended them, to be honest with you, because of money.
Kelly was like, he said this to his girl.
Get out of here, you damn nigga!
Real talk. Like, a few of my relationships, I ended because they would they would spend so much money for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't take it. No, like I couldn't do it.
Right. So it says,
I'm serious.
Kelly was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is it worth spending more money on quality that lasts longer, or cheaper that doesn't last longer? What's the saying that it's being cheap is expensive?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it also depends on what you're buying though.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, in most cases, yeah, it in most cases it might benefit you to spend a little bit more for something that is more quality.
Right.
However, sometimes, nigga, you just trying to get that name brand designer shit just because.
Right, exactly.
You don't really need that shit. The shit you talking about, you probably gonna wear once or twice and throw it away any fucking way.
Right.
You know that.
Right.
Well, some people just be trying to use that as an excuse just so they could, well, it's probably better if I buy the Gucci one because take it, you're not gonna wear that shit more than twice.
Right.
If it's a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt and a white t-shirt and a Gucci white t-shirt, just get the Fruit of the Loom because you're not gonna wear it more than once or twice, bro. You see what I'm saying? So some things that in a lot of cases, yes, it makes sense, but in other cases, it's like niggas just be trying to find excuses to buy designer or name brand shit because the quality's better. But if you're not really using it in a quality situation, then what's the point?
Right. Real talk. So it says, do you think wealth is a state of mind? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, everything starts in the mind. So in order for you to even get the money, you have to think about the way to get the money in order to get the money. You've got to think about the way, because you got to say, like, okay, so part of it too, really, truthfully, and this is the real shit, because even with okay, I'll give a perfect example, right? So Miles did a video the other day where he jumped out of a plane, right? So in order for him to have jumped out of a plane, he had to say at some point in his mind, this is a cool idea or something I desire to do. But part of what had to get out the way for him to even do that was to get the fear out of the way. And so what happens is now he has a wealth of experience because of getting the fear out of the way to even do the thing.
Real.
When it comes to money and making money or whatever, sometimes we have a fear of doing something and that can make money. So therefore we don't do it. And therefore we block the money from coming in. So you might say, man, well, how can I be an entrepreneur? How can I sell this? Or how can I have a company? I don't believe anyone's going to buy from me. And I'm scared that if I do it, I'm going to fail. And if I fail, my dad and my mom's going to laugh at me. And they told me to stay in school. And if I quit school, then they're going to, so there's this fear of doing the thing that can get you the wealth. So the fear is going to stop you from doing it. And because you don't do it, you're not going to get the money. You see what I'm saying? So it's always that block of that's in your mind of what's possible, or even the block of the amount of work it would take to do the thing that can get you the wealth. So it still all starts in your mind. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
It's real shit. So you guys got to understand that it's like it starts there. So if you're a lot of times it's really you stopping yourself, just like even getting a girl. The motherfucker's like, oh, I want a baddie, I want a hot chick. Okay, well, have you approached any women? No, because I'm scared. Okay, so if you're scared to approach women, you're not going to be a baddie. You see what I'm saying? That fear is going to stop you from attaining the thing you want. That's all it is. It's crazy. Because you know what's funny? I look at motherfuckers do shit, and I'll be like, I understand why that person has what they have, because they were courageous to do the thing they just did. You know what I'm saying? Because I see motherfuckers and I'm like, yo, I could not do that. But the reward they get from doing that is because they did the thing. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So it says, is Rodecaster the best deal for the podcast? I mean, yeah, I like the Rodecaster. That shit works out great. You know what I'm saying? I think the Rodecaster's on point. So, you know.
Yeah, if you're trying to get into podcasting, just get a Rodecaster, man. Because I don't really know any other brands really. So
that's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
I can't endorse anything else. So
exactly. And shout out to Myron from Fresh and Fit, because he's the one that told me about this shit. Because I was like, nigga, what are you using? And he showed me. We did a whole video call. He showed me the whole shit. I was like, nigga, I'm getting that shit tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Because they was on that shit early.
Why the fuck is it just whole niggas on the dating app?
You said what? This dude's on your date?
Like, dude, like they don't even try to put on like a wig or nothing. Like just a straight dude.
Straight dude trying to get up with dudes?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
No, that's how it be though sometimes. It's like, because
I put that I'm seeking women.
Right. Exactly.
So at least put on a dress or something, nigga. Like this nigga straight in the cowboy hat. Look at this nigga, bro.
Yeah, terrible. That's the part of the dating apps I don't get. It should have better filters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit crazy, man. I'm like, wow. Oh, goodness.
I just made a mistake and hit the super like.
Yo, so you want to tell us?
Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
You know, sometimes when you swipe left, it's like you swipe up.
Right, and it does the super.
Right.
Oh man!
Don't be sweaters like that talking shit, nigga.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, God. I'm glad I had the undo button still active for that shit.
Exactly. Crazy. Well, any last things I want to say about this topic as far as spending habits and all that? That's it.
Nah, just go to the site, book an appointment. Like Linwood said, book an appointment. We can talk more.
Yes, sir.
I would say you're gonna spend anyway. So just let's make more logical decisions on spending versus emotional decisions.
Right. Exactly.
And have a plan, have a strategy. So call RKT Real Estate go to rktrealestate.com or call 973-420-5028 and get with these guys to get a plan, man, because you know, like they say, you're going to spend anyway. So at least have a plan, because here's the thing, you can, even when it comes to enjoying yourself and all that other shit, you can make a plan to know how much money you're going to spend at the club, to know how much money you're going to spend on clothes, and to know how much money you're going to spend on your necessities. You understand? So you can break it all up. And that's what budgeting is about. You understand? So at the end of the day, you get a nice balanced life where it's not just about sacrifice and saving and scrimping, but you save over here, you spend over here, you do some recreational things over here, you schedule them out, and then if you have a plan, then you can keep your head above water in these crazy times.
Right. Real talk.
Right.
All right. So people, that's pretty much it, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll holler at y'all next week. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gone.